Just recently up in Darlington, I went to a meeting, I don't even live in Darlington, but I went to a council meeting where they were discussing yet more dog control orders. If you look at the amount of land that we've lost to be able to exercise our dogs on, if you look at the way that we're slowly segregating children and dogs in lots of public areas, there's going to be a time, and I'm guessing within 50 years, where the pet dog in the UK will be an extinct species. Already we don't really have many pet dogs. We have pedigree dogs, which are sometimes a very different thing. If you look at what's happening in a lot of animal shelters, they're now becoming rehoming centres for pedigree breeds, which has never happened before. So the headlong drive to pedigree dogs, where we're slowly making pet dogs in this country extinct, is just gaining popularity so quickly. And as a result of that, breeds like about the Russian Black Terrier was never developed for our culture. They don't make particularly good family pet dogs. Great if you're a dog enthusiast or you want to do agility, you want to show the dog at crafts. But what place do they have it actually in a pet dog home in this country? So our craze for pedigree dogs, which have been developed for very different reasons than to be family pets, has increased so dramatically, and it's caused the demise of the family pet in this country. More and more legislation that's being brought in to prevent us owning dogs or owning specific breeds of dog. So you can see the day when the family pet dog will become extinct. We used to have traditional breeds of dog in this country, and a lot of the traditional family breeds of dog were known collectively as mongrels. No particular breed, but developed in a community, by a community, and they served the purposes within that community. They were family pet dogs. We don't own those anymore. If you walk around places like Battersea Dogs Home, I defy you to find very many dogs, of all the ones they have here for rehoming, that have the words mongrel written on the kennel. What you'll find is definitive breeds or definitive crosses of those breeds. So Staffordshire Bull Terrier, cross English Bull Terrier. So we are very slowly making the family pet dog extinct. We're certainly almost completely made the mongrel extinct in favour of pedigree dogs. And again, it's sort of quite interesting how quickly it's happened, partly because of spaying and neutering campaigns. If you run a big spaying and neutering campaign, strangely enough, it does not cut down on the dog population in that area, because it makes puppies more expensive to buy, so breeders in that area will produce more puppies because of the shortage, and the puppies they're going to produce are going to be pedigree. If spaying and neutering really was the answer to pet overpopulation, we'd be knocking down kennels instead of building more year after year. So clearly it hasn't worked. And the effect it's had, when there's a campaign that says, if you are a responsible dog owner, you'll have your pet spayed or neutered. Responsible dog owners do. So who does that leave breeding dogs? Where we're looking at people and calling them irresponsible dog owners, I actually don't lay the blame on their shoulders. Where we lay the blame is on people like myself, dog trainers, dog behaviorists, who've taught the wrong things in training classes for so long now. All of the classes in the UK are really primarily based on competitive obedience exercises. And where we talk about irresponsible owners allowing their dogs to foul in a public place, you can actually train a dog to go to the toilet on command. So you don't have to pick up after the dog if you've actually done the correct training as a puppy. So what we've tended to concentrate on in dog training classes is completely the wrong side of dog behaviour. We haven't, in our training classes, taught people responsible dog ownership. We've never taught people how to train a dog to be a useful addition to the community. It's all been based in the wrong type of training. So I'm as much to blame as anyone. It's very easy to sit back and say it's the irresponsible owners in the park. But I think we've got it badly wrong in our training classes. We need a complete review on puppy training classes, puppy socialisation classes. What's being taught currently in puppy socialisation classes is not benefiting communities. If you look at guide dogs for the blind, hearing dogs for the deaf, all the dogs that have all kinds of privileges in our societies, are those dogs cleaner than my dogs? No, they're not. Are those dogs better trained than my dogs? No, not necessarily. But those dogs have better social behaviour than most of our dogs, which is why they're tolerated. A guide dog, for instance, is trained to go to the toilet on command because the blind owner cannot pick up after the dog because they can't see. So they have a much more responsible way of raising and training their dogs than we do. I think the main thing today is we don't understand the dogs that we share our lives with. And our modern lives have left the modern dog behind. If I ruled the world, I think I'd make two laws. Law number one, no one was ever allowed to buy or sell any dog or puppy for more than £50. Take the money out of it and it would all stop. And the second law that I'd make, every litter of puppies that you wanted to bring into the world, no matter who you were, you had to get a licence for every individual litter. And the only place you could ever get a licence was your local shelter, or the overbreeding would stop.